Yes, yes, yes. Welcome back to another edition of Go Long Live with Barry Long 2. I am Barry Long the second, not the first, not the third. Just happy to be here. We are thankful for everybody that's been tuning in, everybody that's been sharing the post, everybody that's been involved and engaged. I am Barry Long the second. My co-host is Sage Alvarez. Y'all will see him in a second. Just want to let y'all know right now that we have something special going on today. Okay, we're bringing up a new segment that we call Fed Up Friday. Okay, so this is a segment where whatever you're mad about, whatever you're fed up about, I want y'all to hashtag it on Twitter, on Facebook. I want y'all to comment and let us know whatever's got you fed up. Okay, I'll give you an example. Fed Up Friday. I'll tell you what I'm fed up with. I'm fed up with people who buy sports cars, midlife crisis or not, and then they go 15 miles under the speed limit. Fed up. It can be sports related. If you fed up with Mike McCarthy, let us know right now. Shout out to my man Sean McNeil. That's my best friend. He commented on Facebook. He's been a bigger supporter than anybody else. Shout out to Sean McNeil. Love you, my guy. All right, so today we're going to talk about that epic game that we saw last night from the Bengals and the Jaguars. We got to get into that. We got to get into Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer looks like a deer caught in headlights. He said that the loss last night was so heartbreaking. And there's some stuff that he's been saying in the media. We're going to get into that and see if my guy is really going to last the entire season, because I'm not sure at this point. I love Urban Meyer for all his success that he's had, love what he stands for, but don't love his comments and don't love his demeanor on the sideline. We're going to get into that. We're also going to get into a couple of these games that are coming up this weekend. We're going to pick our picks. 5 games we always choose every single Friday. Listen, it's Fed Up Friday. Do not forget. Hashtag Fed Up Friday. Let us know what you fed up about. Whatever you're upset about, let us know. And also, we're going to get into Ben Simmons. We saw some Joel Embiid comments that were pretty incriminating for Ben Simmons. And we need to know what y'all feel about Ben Simmons. We are live on CoachellaValley.com. We are also live on today'scalifornia.com. We are live all over Twitter. My main man, Sage, is about to come in. First of all, let me ask what's going on, Sage? How you feeling today, bro?
I'm feeling great, man. How's it going, Ben?
Hey,
Second, not the first, not the third.
I'm doing well, man. I worked my tail off yesterday. I was at like 3-4 different places, just trying to build this thing the way we do. But last night, let me tell you first. Let me tell the people first, okay? So last night I hosted some variety show, and it wasn't just some variety show. I saw some of the most talented human beings on the face of the earth, and I'm so excited for their future, and I'm so excited for your future, Sage. Listen, we hang out outside of the podcast, and last night we played pool for the first time, and you can always tell about him. It's something about a man by the way he plays pool. And let me tell y'all right now, my main man Sage Alvarez is one of the most competitive dudes I've ever met. And look, a couple of people told me that they saw you on the show, and they were like, "Yo, your homie is your co-host he's taller, and he looks more athletic than I thought." And then one person said that you were more handsome in person. Hey, look, I get that all the time.
I appreciate that.
Some people tell me I look better in person. In person. I heard that I look like Steph Curry, and I said, "Nah, you're pushing." But the funniest thing is somebody said, "No, you don't look like Steph. You look like Seth Curry." Hey, shout out to Seth Curry, but you know who the better looking brother is. But yeah, man. So we played pool last night. How did you think? What did you think about my pool skills?
I mean, I feel like I just had a huge letdown at the end. I pretty much gave that game to you, but you did win it. You did win, and
yeah, and then you came back in the second game. You came strong in the
haven't played it in a minute.
Hey, what would you do against me in a one-on-one basketball game?
I would just post you up, bro. I would just post you up. I know
that's messed up.
I mean, I can hit you with guard skills too, but I don't want to embarrass you, bro. I need you to be able to,
embarrass me.
Good.
Bro,
I'm gonna cross you up, bro. And
you better ask somebody, Sage. You better ask somebody. Look, I'm fed up with Sage talking about he gonna cross me up and he gonna embarrass me. Never seen me play basketball yet.
Anyone that goes to the Pond as a Rec, 24-hour fitness, they know that I'm a pump. La Quinta Boys and Girls Club on Tuesdays. They know that I'm a pump fake you every single time, and you're gonna fall for it at some point. It's just how it is.
Look, my best friend Sean, he said he don't know about Woodstock Berry. That was the rec league that I grew up playing in. bro. I used to. I'm a hound on defense. I'm like Avery Bradley. And listen, I was the only guy in rec league basketball that probably fouled out of like 5 games. It's an empty feeling sitting on the sideline and fouling out, but it's because I was aggressive. They don't even, man. You'll see. And we're gonna make sure we broadcast it for the world. But we are live on Twitter. Sage, tell them how they can find you, man.
Yeah, you can find me at Twitter at SageDuck. You can find me at Instagram at Sage_up. And you can also find me on Facebook at Sage Alvarez. I'll add you as a friend.
Absolutely, man. You've been putting in work. I just want to say this real quick, man. You spread love all over Twitter. You put people on. You make their Twitters pop in a day, and you don't just make empty promises. You are really that dude when it comes to social media. But just watching some of the talent last night. And I've been in radio for 14 years, and some of these musicians have been in doing their craft for their entire lives, and all they want to do is be successful. It's all about giving back. It's all about helping other people become successful. And no matter what, man, you cannot give up on your dreams. Okay, you cannot give up on your dreams. Listen, I saw
Exactly.
I saw a fire. One of them big ass ants. You know what I'm talking about. He was the big ants, the ones that bite your ankles and it itch for 3 days. So I saw an ant carrying a seed or a nut. He had food, but the food was bigger than his body. And I took a moment just to look at him and just to analyze him. And he dropped the food and then he almost left it. He came back and got it. And then I gave him a hash brown because I came back from Carl's Jr. and had some breakfast. I gave him a hash brown, put it next to him. I was thinking, hey, if you can't get that food, get this food. Then I walked in the house and I said, bro, did you just feed an ant? Like, shout out. But listen, the thing is that ant was determined to take that food home. He might have been going to his family, whatever he was doing, he was determined, he was passionate, and wasn't giving up. So you don't give up on your dreams, don't give up on nothing. We are Go Long Live. I'm Barry Long the second, not the first, not the third. Sage Alvarez, an epic dude. Now, my man, it's Fed Up Friday. I know we're gonna get into sports real quick soon. But I want everybody to let us know what you are fed up about. Like, it could be sports related, it could be anything. Okay, Sage, set the tone. What are you fed up about?
And I'm just fed up with all these I've been seeing too many people nowadays trying to take victory laps over a player getting injured. Like how that
Yeah.
it's so
it's depressing.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to you. It's embarrassing to anyone around you that knows you. Just seeing these just want to be like fantasy analysts. They try to take a victory lap because like we told you this player was gonna get hurt, and it's like no, bro, don't do that. Or if it's a hurt, don't do that either because social media will let you know that it's not okay. But again, and I'm smarter than this. People do that. It's a calculated move because they know the trolls are going to come out. They're going to get the impressions. They're going to get, for some of these people, they don't get like 4,000, 5,000 a tweet. But that tweet, when they're going to
like
troll,
you do,
hey, it's not easy. But at the end of the day, like I know that they're trying to get the 100, 200, 300,000 impression tweet because if you tweet something like that, you know the negativity that's going to come with it. You know that your hardcore people are going to defend you and you're going to make them look bad because they're defending you. And for what reason? And a lot of people on Twitter, they're watching me right now. And I know some of these people are going to hear about this. So I'm Fed Up Friday. And that's what it's about, bro.
Hey, we're going to do this every single Friday. We are on 5 days a week. We've been making appearances on other networks. We're going to be on TV next week, like on cable network, let you know. But at the end of the day, yeah, you're right, man. There's a lot of trolls, and do not listen. We're not even half known that most of these guys out here that are on ESPN, FS1, these other networks. But if you Google Sage Alvarez, Twitter it, there's some hate, there's some love. So no matter how big you get, no matter how small you are, people are gonna love you, people are gonna hate you. You just got to keep your grind, baby. That's all you got to do. All right, we are Go Long Live with Barry 2 and Sage Alvarez and Fed Up Friday. Let me just tell you right now, I am fed up with Urban Meyer. Okay, we watched the game last night. We watched it transpire. I told y'all, and Sage told y'all too, the Bengals would win. But despite me being a Ravens fan, I knew the Bengals would pull it out. But it was a great game. I mean, it was 21-21, and it came down to the field goal kick at the end, and it was an easy kick. But ultimately, what I took away from that game was, okay, Trevor Lawrence has had his past with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow beat the brakes off him in the 2019 college championship, dropped 45 on him like Michael Jordan. And Trevor Lawrence was determined to come out and win this game. And what happened was he was up by 14 points, had a 14-point lead, and they got comfortable, got complacent, and it's a tale of two halves. A lot of these NFL games are truly a tale of two halves. Momentum is everything when it comes to sports in general, but football especially. The Cincinnati Bengals, they come out, they're down 14-0 at halftime. They come out, they get the ball, they score, and then that momentum is just shifted in their direction. And all of a sudden, we see a comeback. And we got a great game in the second half. But what I took away from this game was that Trevor Lawrence lost a 14-point victory. And you see his face in that picture? That was in 2019. My man, he probably when they embraced at midfield after the game yesterday, he probably looked at him the same exact way. And Trevor Lawrence is going to be great in this league someday, but it ain't today. And at the end of the day, I love what he brings to the table. I think he needs more weapons around him. I think he needs a newer head coach who's more confident. We're going to get into Urban Meyer here shortly, but yeah, I mean, it was truly a tale of two halves. And what did you take away from that game, Sage?
Man, I took away a lot from the game. It hurt the Jaguars to not get that conversion on the goal line to get that score. I mean, even a field goal at that point puts them up 17-0. So I thought that was a huge mistake to not go for the field goal. I mean, even though you want the confidence, take the 3-possession game, and you kind of. I feel like you could have got a lot of momentum kept on your side. You gave them momentum. They scored 14-7. Now we got ourselves a ball game. It's one possession now. When you could have flipped it, made a field goal. Even if it's 17-7, you're still up by 2 possessions. So
absolutely,
you gave it wasn't just the field goal you gave up. It's you gave up the 3-possession lead, and I think that was a crucial error, and that was a coaching mistake. But also, if you get that touchdown. You look that smart, and the team maybe rides that momentum at the end of the game. But when you don't win those gambles, you as a coach take the hit.
And listen, I think it was a big gamble to take. I was telling TK, I was with TK from 93.7 KCLB. We were out watching the game, and I would shout to TK, my guy. But listen, I was telling people, if they kick the field goal, they're up by 3 possessions, and ultimately they lost the game by how many points, Sage? 3 points.
3 points.
Oh, that 3 points was serious. At least would have sent it to overtime. But yeah, and Urban Meyer tries to be aggressive. We see a lot of these coaches in the NFL and college. They're in a position. That's one of the hardest things to do. That's why the best coaches in the NFL and the NBA, that's in Major League Baseball, NHL, that's why they get paid the big bucks. That's why John Gruden is getting paid the big bucks, because he has to make tough, difficult decisions in game-swinging situations. And it's not easy, man. And Urban Meyer, I got a lot of love for Urban Meyer because of all the work he's put in college, because of how dedicated he is to football, how he galvanizes his teams. I mean, I like Urban Meyer, but Urban Meyer has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And last week, after they lost to the Cardinals, they were up, against the Cardinals. They ended up losing that game. That's 2 weeks in a row he's lost leads. But after the end of the game, he embraces Cliff Kingsbury at midfield, and he said, "Hey, man, NFL is different. It's a lot of good athletes out here." He said, "It's like playing Alabama every week." and that right there, what I took away from that was that this guy doesn't get it. His mind is still in college. Let this man get the USC job. Bring in somebody that's qualified, somebody like Eric Bieniemy, who's going to help develop a young stud at quarterback. And ultimately, I'm really not sure if Urban Meyer is going to make it through this season. I don't even think he'll make it through the bye week. Am I crazy, Sage?
So I was a little bit impressed with how the Jaguars did come out, because they actually did have a chance to beat the Bengals, who just beat the Steelers. Even though the Steelers are a little banged up right now on injuries, I was a little bit. He's on a maybe right now. He might make it through the season. Before this game, I was like, he might not make it before the bye week. So I was a little bit more impressed. But are they going to come out next week and lay an egg because they couldn't get this win? And we'll see about the character on the Jaguars when they show up the next couple of weeks.
And after the game, after the game last night, Urban Meyer goes to the podium and he looks devastated, like his dog just died. Like seriously, he said it was a devastating and heartbreaking loss. And that's not what you want to hear from your leader after a tough loss. You want your leader to say, hey, man, we lost, but we'll be back next week. And Urban Meyer looked defeated. And honestly, I saw that press conference. I know the criticism he's been getting all over Twitter, all over social media, all over the networks on TV. And, I was rooting for the guy. But when he said that, I said, man, he really didn't get it. And honestly, I think that he looks so depressed. He looked more depressed than he does in this picture right now. Like, and this is his demeanor on the sideline. Body language is everything. They tell young athletes you got to have the right body language, and it's even more imperative that a head coach of a multi-million-dollar, maybe billion-dollar franchise. Well, Jaguars aren't billion-dollar franchise; they're multi-million. But it's imperative that if you're the CEO of something that is that major and that important, that you always have a positive, upbeat demeanor. And I don't know about this guy. And honestly, I think that Nick Saban, we saw what he did in Miami. It was terrible. And it was like this guy just came from LSU, killing the game. And right now, this guy needs to go the hell back to college. And what did he do? He went back into his true element, and he has not let up. I mean, Nick Saban is meant to be a college head coach, and some coaches just are meant to be in college. Some coaches just are meant to run NFL franchises. And I don't know. Honestly, Sage, I think Urban Meyer is not going to make it through the season. But you know what? You're Sage, and you always bring that reasoning. And maybe I'm overreacting, but Jaguar Duval County, they are seriously overreacting. And shout out to Terry Persons. My man has been a diehard Jaguar fan a lot. And real quick, shout out to Eric Payton. It's my guy. And shout out to everybody tuning in on CoachellaValley.com, today's California.com, today's Canada.com, all over Twitter. It is Fed Up Friday. Let us know why you're fed up. Hashtag it, and then we'll get to it. And then comment on the comments and let us know. But yeah, so am I overreacting, or am I on the right track?
No, the Jaguars got to win some games. If you don't win games, it's definitely not for long for you to be in this league. So, no, you're on the right track. They got to step up. I just think that we saw a little bit of life where we didn't see life before. And Trevor Lawrence is showing us a little bit of why he's the number one overall pick this year. And then he's making some very spectacular throws. They just don't have a good team. And that's just reality. They were the worst team in football last year. And really, they're going to be one of the worst this year too. So
yeah, it's good. Look, listen, this franchise was what they were 1-0 last season. Then they lost 15 straight games. Now they lost 4 straight games. They have lost the last 19 games that they've played. It is terrible. And they have the mascot from the Jaguars. If any Jaguars fans out there, you see the mascot. He does. First of all, this is the most ridiculous stunt I've ever seen any mascot do. He is jumping from the top of the stadium on a bungee cord, and he's jumping head first. And yeah, he gets caught up, and he comes in all smooth. But man, oh man, I saw memes online that said this guy jumping off the roof head first because he's trying to kill himself because the Jaguars are terrible. And I mean, that's it. The internet is hilarious, but ultimately, I feel bad for everybody in Jacksonville, Duval County, and I hope it gets better, man. I hope it gets better for Trevor Lawrence. I hope it gets better for Urban Meyer. What they did in that first half is they ran the ball more, and you saw a lot of people saying, "Run the ball more." I love Robinson. He's tough. Trevor Lawrence, he started using his legs more too, and then that opened up the pass. But ultimately, they're gonna have to develop this guy and not let his confidence deplete. We got a comment right now from Isla Denise. She just commented blank space, but shout out to her for commenting. It's Fed Up Friday. Before we get into deeper into these NFL games that are coming out this weekend, and we're going to talk Ben Simmons, I just want to say a couple things that I'm fed up with, Sage. I want to get people started. Tell us where you're fed up on Facebook, on Twitter. I'm fed up with these scam likely calls. Listen, Sage, I get more scam likely calls than I get actual calls from human beings. And I think I figured out the algorithm of how to deter these calls. So every time I get a scam likely call, I answer the phone like, "Hey, baby, what's good? I've been waiting for you to call me all day. How you doing, boo?" And then the telemarketer always freezes and hangs up. I only had one guy. Yeah, they always freeze. I only had one guy that gave me that same energy back. But yeah, man, I'm fed up. Scam likely calls. I'm fed up with the prices of bacon, and we'll tell you more about what we're fed up with as long as
You
you guys hashtag. Go ahead.
talking about that 7.99 at Ralph's and Albertsons or what, man?
$7.99 for bacon?
A pound. Yeah.
Look, listen, it's the bacon. The price of bacon is going up like the price of gas, and I
I
need
mean,
bacon.
I'm paying like premium gas like over here like what 440, 430 right now. Like
That's how it is in
it's kind of I
Coachella.
got yeah I gotta get premium too, so it's like it's a lot of money out of my pocket.
Man, listen, even if my car needs premium, that 20 cent makes a difference. I'll put in regular, and I just hope that it doesn't affect my car. But we are live on CoachellaValley.com, today'scalifornia.com, today'scamp.com, all over Twitter. And listen, another guy who has not been giving us a lot of confidence is Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is in training camp for the Philadelphia 76ers. Of course, we know his shooting struggles. We know all the criticism he's been getting by that crazy fan base, that devastating Philadelphia media. And at the end of the day, your boy Joel Embiid came out and said it's borderline disrespectful for what he's doing because guys are working their tails off. And Ben Simmons seems like he doesn't care. And just to play devil's advocate, I think that Ben Simmons he's really in a tough spot because they don't want him there. He don't want to be there. And he's still talented, but it's going to take a lot more than what most teams are willing to offer in order to trade him. So he might end up staying on the Philadelphia 76ers and being on the bench and being wasted talent, just like we see Deshaun Watson in Houston. So do you think that seriously, do you think that they're going to trade him? Or do you think that he's going to end up staying on the Philadelphia 76ers in a place he doesn't want to be?
It doesn't look like any NBA team is going to budge anytime soon, knowing that the price is at an all-time low, and the Philadelphia is not going to sell them at an all-time low. It's going to come down to a small market team that knows they can't get a guy like Ben Simmons on the free agency market that just says we can get our roster in contention with the Lakers and the Nets, and we can confidently beat them. And the only team that might want to take that is the San Antonio Spurs. But are they Ben Simmons away from being in the Lakers, the Nets? No.
Absolutely not. I was thinking when you said small market team, I was thinking maybe Denver, which is not the smallest market, but
no, but their salaries,
they,
Matt. They just gave Michael Porter the
Michael
huge,
Porter. That's what I was going to say.
Porter, they bring again the great extension, so they got their core. Like their money's tied up.
And I like Gordon coming to the team. Jamal Murray, Jamal Murray's going to bounce back. Of course, they have the reigning MVP of the league and Jokic. Michael Porter has more potential, in my opinion, than Ben Simmons at this point. And Ben Simmons, his stock is dropping. Listen, his stock is dropping, and his stock is rising. Ben Simmons is not even worth the price of a pack of bacon right now. It's terrible, and he's such a talented guy. He defends so well. He can facilitate. He's athletic as I don't know what. But the shooting and the unwillingness to shoot is really costing him and costing the 76ers a lot right now. And I for one am kind of starting to root for the guy because they're bashing him so much. I'm rooting for him. I'm fed up with the Ben Simmons hate, and I'm fed with Ben Simmons not stepping up. How about that? It's Fed Up Friday. We're live on today'scalifornia.com, CoachellaValley.com. We're also live on Today's Canada. We are all over Twitter. Make sure you hashtag Go Long Live, hashtag Sage Alvarez. That's my guy. I'm very long too. And man, like honestly, I don't see a situation where a team is willing to give up enough that the 76ers feel like it's enough to trade Ben Simmons. I honestly feel like it's going to be a Deshaun Watson type of situation. And I feel bad for everybody involved, both parties involved. And it's going to be an interesting conundrum that the 76ers are going to face this year. It'll be interesting to see what kind of moves they try to make. And you got budding stars that are coming up. And you got, Seth Curry's really stepped up. You got some players. And Joel Embiid is ready. He's ready. And he was eating cheeseburgers before the games a couple years ago. Now he's focused. My man is moving like a vegan. And I'm excited to see what he can do. And maybe this is his leadership coming out and saying, "Hey, man," he's calling out Ben Simmons. And
I didn't like what he can. I was just listening to his speech. Very miscalculated move on his part. It did come out. I mean, everything that he'd been holding back, that people have been saying that how he felt, it showed. It showed his cards. You don't. It was the point. He's like, we're just done. And I guarantee he felt that way when they're trying to fly to go to his house, and Ben's like, "Don't even bother coming to my place. Like, stop it. Like, just return your plane. Like, don't even get on that plane and don't come over here." So he felt disrespected. And the emotion, and anyone deals with basketball teams know the emotion of the teams and what you go, and then they're at the highest level, so they're on a just completely different level where the head coach is really just the controller of the personalities. You gotta pick and choose when get people's emotions up, when they get on them, when not to get
absolutely,
on them, when they show them love, when to really get on them. Just got to pick and choose your moments, and there's just a lot that goes into that. And it doesn't. I just Joel Embiid just didn't pick the right words. Showed his cards, and I just didn't agree with what he did. That's not a good leader, but he is the leader of the rest. That was great leadership for the rest. That's like if Ben was already off your team. That's like he's like, but he's not on your team still, and he might still play with you. That's the problem. What he
that
said.
it's like if LeBron came out and said AD is lazy, AD's this, he's that, and it doesn't send a good message to the rest of the team, to the fan base. You're right. You're absolutely right. And it also drops his stock, his trade stock, because now it's one thing if the GM and the head coach don't want him, but if his Batman doesn't want Robin, then I mean I don't know where Robin can only be a sidekick for Batman.
And,
So
and Kyrie, when he wanted out, he got his full value and went to the Celtics. Well, even though that trade was still not a good trade, but at the end of the day, like some and John Wall in the same, and some argue. I've seen like Becca on Twitter. She argued that John Wall and Ben Simmons are in the same situation, and the way that their franchise are handling it is completely different. Like on the Rockets side, they're like, "We're gonna get rid of you, John Wall. Don't worry." And the Celtics are like, "You're showing up to camp, bro. We want you here, or you're gonna miss your money and all that." And it's gonna,
absolutely.
but more money is tied to Ben Simmons, and a lot of money. And this is gonna be used against the players. The owners are winning right now. The owners are loving what Ben's doing. They're gonna in the public. They're gonna be like, "Well, we condemn this." But because they have to, because when it comes down to negotiations next time, they're going to be like, "Look what Ben did." So when Ben does that, we're going to have it in our clause where the whole contract voids if it doesn't show up within 2 months or something.
Listen,
It just gives them an
Philadelphia,
advantage. It gives them an advantage.
Philadelphia
Whatever it
is
does.
gonna offer the team. They're gonna say, "Hey, we want 2 first-round draft picks. We want," and then the offering team is gonna say, "Here's what we'll do. We'll offer you a ham sandwich for Ben Simmons," and it's gonna be a hard negotiation because that is a far margin to make up. And you're right, man. You're absolutely right. Real quick, we got a couple minutes left. This is Go Long Live with Barry on 2 and Sage Alvarez. We are on 5 days a week. We love you guys for tuning in. This is the meme of the week. Trevor Lawrence has lost as many NFL games as he did his entire high school and collegiate careers combined. 52-2 in high school, 38-2 in college. Joe Burrow, shout out to Joe Burrow, and 0-4 in the NFL. I for Trevor Lawrence. Somebody said that he looks like Hercules the other day. He does. He looks like a strong leader.
He's
Like
good. He's
he's
great.
great. He's great.
He's great.
And he's going to be great in this league. But it remains to be seen whether or not Urban Meyer's that can get him over the hump. Now, real quick, Sage, we got to go through these 5 games that we pick, and you're gonna pick first. I'm gonna pick second. And so Carolina, Dallas. Carolina 3-0. Dallas is looking really good. Who you got? And why?
Dallas.
Okay. Look, you don't have to say anything else because everybody, listen, Dallas is making everybody a believer. And Dak Prescott looks good. I think that Carolina comes back down to reality and Dallas wins that game. What about Detroit and Chicago? You got a division rival. You got a conundrum quarterback up there in Chicago, and you got Jared Goff.
I'm going Detroit. I think Jared Goff's going to pull off the first win for the Lions. I just don't see the Bears functioning well right now.
I got the Bears. I just got the Bears. I think time for them to make a statement, and they will. Seattle, San Francisco, another division rival. Who you got?
I'm going Seattle. We're going Russell Wilson. He takes care of business.
Okay, you know what? I like that. I like that. I'm going Seattle as well. Now I'll pick first on the last two. Arizona and the Rams. I love the Rams, and I like what Arizona's doing. You know, they're making noise 3-0, but at the end of the day, I think they come back to reality too. I think Matt Stafford is what was missing in LA, and the Rams will defeat the Arizona Cardinals. Who you got?
Oh man, I have so much love for the Arizona Cardinals. Like I told you, man, I was on the field for like 2 seasons,
I
getting to watch these
know.
games. Like being one of the only security guards that actually got to watch the games on the field. So it's just hard
So
for me.
you want hold on. You
It's
want one of
hard.
the security guards in the yellow shirt that has to face the crowd the entire
No,
game?
no. I'm watching them like look at the crowd and be like, oh man, this is a good game. I wish you guys could see.
Hey, did you ever get to tackle anybody?
No. But I wish. I was close. They had me.
You wish.
It would have been for a soccer game, but they had me doing like inside the lanes of that game, and then someone ran on the field, and oh man, it was like the one game I could have done it for. But what I did get to do was like when the football got next to the cheerleaders, I grabbed the football, show off my skill, throw the
In front of the
referee.
cheerleaders, yeah.
I was in front of the whole.
That's what we're
whole
doing right now, Sage. Shout out to you, man. All right, so you got
I got
Arizona?
the Cardinals. I got the Cardinals.
All right,
Got it.
Okay. And we're only 4 hours away from Phoenix. So shout out to everybody out there in Phoenix. We got a lot of people listening in Phoenix. We love Phoenix, but the Rams, I love them a little bit more. All right, last game, Tampa Bay, New England. Now, I really want you to tell me who's gonna win.
It's gonna be Tampa. Mac Jones he's gonna fill the Mike Jones.
Mac Jones. Yeah, Mac Jones is gonna do what?
He's gonna lay an egg. Like it's not gonna be a good game. The pressure is too much for the rookie right now. It's gonna be overwhelming. This Buccaneer defense is gonna take care of business.
Yeah, that shadow. Listen, before that plane arrives, that shadow of Tom Brady is already on its way, and Mac Jones is probably tossing and turning, thinking about man. And Mac Jones he has to relax. This game might be bad because Tom Brady is going to make a statement after that loss last week, but Mac Jones needs to understand that he's in a good position and he's going to be their quarterback for a long time. So I don't want him to walk away from this game feeling discouraged because he's got a bright future as well. And he's one of the most mature rookies that we've seen in a while, just ready to play out the gate. But yeah, I also have Tampa Bay, and I think they're going to make a statement. Now it's Fed Up Friday. You got one more Fed Up for us before we call it off?
Yeah, man, I'm fed up with the people that use social media to get when they get like 10,000 followers and they have like a good ratio, and then just all of a sudden they're following like 3 people. Like, did you just forget everybody? Like, stop it. Like,
stop using social media for hate. Use it for love. That's all we use
it for love. Like, why? When you build a relationship with another account, you just think, okay, I'm a celebrity now, so now I'm gonna go unfollow all these people, and then like, oh yeah, look at my ratio. Like, no, you didn't build your Twitter like that. You weren't no celebrity that hopped on and everyone's like, unfollow. Like, when Eli went on Twitter, everyone went to go follow Eli. Eli didn't just like follow people back to get followers and then just unfollow like like 10 to 20,000 and then be like, oh, I'm a celebrity, I got it like that. Like, no, you just ruined a lot of relationships and everyone's gonna mass unfollow you, and you probably have a lot of like spam accounts following you at this point.
Absolutely. If you're a troll, you will have that walk of shame back home. You'll do the troll scroll.
Raiders Chargers pick. I got Raiders, man. Raiders are
man, of course you got the Raiders. You're a
Come
Raiders
on,
fan.
Man.
But listen, shout out to Jesse Vega real quick. That's the homie. And he wants to know, we're gonna dive deep into our analysis about this game on Monday. This is a Monday night game. We are on Monday at noon 30. We're on Monday through Friday at noon 30. And we are definitely going to break that game down, maybe for like the entire episode. We'll see. We'll let you know, Jesse. I ain't going to tell you who I got, but it ain't the Raiders. All right, well, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. We want to thank everybody. Listen, if you are watching the show with the replay, still tell us what you're fed up about. It's Fed Up Friday. We're going to make this a thing out here in the Coachella Valley and all over, all over the internet. Fed Up Friday is what are you fed up with?
I mean, Friday, and I'll make sure I'll retweet the best ones. So get the hashtags up.
How can they find you on Twitter and everywhere else?
You can find me at Twitter at SageDub. And you can find me at Instagram at Sage_up. And you can find me on Facebook at Sage Alvarez. I'll add you as a friend.
And I'm on Twitter at Radio Barry Long. And shout out to Sage, got my Twitter popping right now. And I'm on Instagram at Barry Long _2, the number 2. And I'm also on Facebook at Barry Long space II, the 2. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Remember, don't give up on your dreams. And listen, this weekend, enjoy the football. Stay focused, stay motivated, stay inspired. And remember, you are capable of doing anything. We'll see y'all on Monday. We love y'all. Peace.